Hey everyone, welcome back to Hacky Lessons for a Uta deck profile. Now I'll say straight off the bat that this deck profile is more for people looking for inspiration in how to build their own lists. I'm not finished building this. I think I will make a few changes. But if you are just looking around the internet trying to see what other people are doing, this is the list that I built last week. I took it to locals today, I built it and went 3-1, so it's alright. This is a leader that is a little bit, people don't see its potential, I don't think, but it is actually pretty good. So what it does, activate main once per turn for 1 Don. Up to one of your characters with no base effects gains 2,000 power during the turn. So as long as you build to that strength, it's pretty good. So obviously what you want to do is put a lot of skillless cards in your deck. A lot of big skillless cards. So if you take a look at, say, Zoro, he is a good leader for like having a big wide board, because you put 1 Don on him and your whole board gets 1k. Whereas you pay 1 Don with Uta and 1 card gets 2k power. So that's like a pretty good, if you have just say 1 big character, that's going to be more valuable than what Zoro does. So let's go through what the list was. So like I said, you want to put a lot of skillless in. So we'll go for the skillless first. I've got 2 Nico Robin. She's just a 3 cost for 5k. 2 Frankie is 4 cost for 6k. And then also 4 cost for 6k is Luffy. So 4 Luffy. Obviously, it's Luffy, so I'm going to prefer him over Frankie, but he's basically the same card. And then I have 4 copies of Yasop, father of Usopp, and then 3 copies of Ben Beckman. 7 costs for 9,000 power. So you just imagine putting the leader ability on that, and he has 11,000 power for only paying 1 Don. And then the biggest of the boys, 2 copies of Shanks. 8 costs for 10,000 power. So that's pretty... Your opponent will have a hard time removing that once he is on the board. I probably think this list could use a little bit more skillless. In the last 2 games in the tournament I played in, I didn't get a skillless on board at all. So that seems like a lot, but maybe just a little bit more would be nice. Maybe some more Robins. You saw that I put a few Straw Hats in there, Robin, Frankie, and Luffy. So I've put in 4 Searching Armies. And I've also put in 4 of the Rested Don armies. Let's say you pay 1 to use Uta's ability, and then you just use Nami to put that Rested Don onto a character. So that's pretty good value. I've only made 1 change since the list that I played the other day. I went 3-1 with it. I can't remember if I remembered to say that, but I had Rush Luffy. I've changed it out for Rush Zoro. My theory was with Rush Luffy was that I'd be using him to go for game and getting around blockers, but I think the lower cost Zoro is going to be a better option. And then while we're still talking about Straw Hats, 4 blocker choppers for your blocking needs. And while we're talking about blockers, 3 copies of Kobe. So this one can be played on trigger, which is why he's good. Otherwise, he's a 3 cost blocker, so that's, whatever. Playing on trigger is the ideal situation here. 4 copies of Otama, because Otama is just about a must-have in every red deck, I would say. And then another 2k counter is Beppo. Beppo has very similar ability, or even actually the same ability as Robin, but he is a 2k counter instead of a 1k counter. So I would probably say put Robin in because she's searchable, plus she's got stronger base power, but 2k counter is always nice. And then while we're talking about Heart Pirates, I have 2 copies of Trafalgar Law, which basically has the same on play as Otama, except he costs 4, but then he can be an attacker. And for my event cards, 3 copies of Red Hawk and 3 copies of Jet Pistol. And that is the entire list as it stands. I do think I will make some changes, maybe get rid of the Namis, put in more skillless. If I didn't say it at the top, I played this last week, I went 3-1. The only game I lost to was Kaido, and I just didn't play around. I had a full board, and then he played the 10 cost Kaido. So that was just dumb playing on my part. Otherwise, the deck is very good. One thing I will point out, in case you do not know, say this Carrot card, you can't use Uta's ability on this. This is not a skillless card. It does have an ability right there, trigger. So just in case you were thinking of using carrot. Yeah, so if you are like me and Film Red is still buzzing for you, you find Uta to be a good character and you got excited that you got these promos and you want to play it, I would definitely recommend it. It's a fun deck. So when I do get a finalized deck list, I'll probably come back to you, but if this helps you for now to build something just to see what other lists, like what the baseline of a list looks like, there you go. Hope that helps. I will see you soon for more deck profiles. I'm going to build Red Green Luffy next. See you later.